Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Greenleaf Season 2, Episode 13, and the name of this episode is Silence and Loneliness. Man, this was a really good episode, y'all, and I was so here for it. I mean, a lot went down this episode, and not to say there was a lot of silence and loneliness that was going on and that was revealed. Alright, so let me get started. Well, before I get started, let me give my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by Hurricane Harvey. If you can give relief or you can give support, please do so. The people of Texas need our help, and we need to do all we can to see to it that we can actually restore and rebuild, the cities like of Port Arthur, Houston, Dallas, all the cities that were affected in Texas by Hurricane Harvey. So here I am, I'm definitely sending my love to you, and, I ask that everyone send love and relief, when if you possibly can. And with that, I'm now going to begin to review this episode. And also, I definitely want to shout out to my friend Nisha Houston, who's also a reviewer. She's from Houston, and she was also affected by the hurricane, but thank God that she was okay and she survived. And definitely, I want to give my love to everyone who's from Texas that was affected by this hurricane. And I actually pray that all of you have a speedy recovery and that more relief will come that can actually help rebuild not only your lives but your communities as well. Okay, now this episode was really good, but let me get started. The episode opens up with Grace. Grace is jogging, and then all of a sudden there's this little girl who's crying, who's running away, and all of a sudden, you see Uncle Matt coming behind the little girl. So I'm like, oh hell. But I was thinking at first, was this faith? But later we come to find out it wasn't. But next thing you know, you hear Matt's voice saying that, you hear Grace's voice saying that, I promise I won't tell. And he's like, good, because it will be a bad thing for you if you do tell. And then she wakes up out of her dream. So we see that Grace is still being haunted by Matt's ghost. And yet there's something that happened that she's holding in and she hasn't shared. So I'm definitely going to get to that. We also saw a quick scene between Sophia and Grace. Sophia's father is not going to be there to escort her to the cotillion. So, and they also talk about Darius. Grace lets Sophia know that her and Darius is on the break or whatever. But Sophia's like, well, Mom, in order to be in a relationship, you have to be in a relationship, You guys got to, interact with each other. So Sophia, being a teenager, she knows that Mom's dating, and she likes Darius, but, she's got to if anything, we see that, Sophia's still doing her thing with Roberto as well. Now, this part that I'm about to talk about was like the meat of the episode. We actually realized from the last episode that Carissa has spilled the beans about Bishop Skanks to Lady May and Bishop Greenleaf. And she is singing like a canary. Because last episode she says, I know somebody who can give you some information, that can give you some solid proof. That person was Tasha, the First Lady. She pretty much gave her proof of all the stuff that was kind of, as far as the books and as far as, him moving funds around, and he's been doing it under the name Pastor Reeves, and how he's just been, stacking money and taking money, because we definitely saw this early in this season, how he, has manipulated the books, how he's been having these little, gambling parties where he's been making a lot of money. So yeah, we pretty much saw a lot that Skanks was doing, but now Carissa has brought all of this information to Lady May and the Bishop. So now they are immediately on game plan, Lady May and Bishop, saying that yeah, we can work this out. We can actually take him down, and we'll be able to take his church. But then Carissa throws in something like, yeah, and what we should do is that we should make Jacob, the new head of Triumph. But we have to do it in a delicate way. We kind of have to do this quietly. And they're like, yeah, we're with you, but we already know Bishop can't wait to use this weapons, of mass destruction against Bishop Staines. He can't wait to let him have it. So therefore, we know the plan is to get Bishop Staines to step down from being the head of Triumph and put Jacob in that seat. And and then all of a sudden, like before she leaves, past Lady Nay is like, okay, Miss First Lady to be. And then all of a sudden we see Carissa, if the good Lord willing. I'm like, you know what, Carissa, you really get on my nerves because it's all a power play for you. You are tired of living this, struggle life. You ready to get back where you're living the life of the glitz and the glamour. Let's be real. She married a Greenleaf because of the name and because of the status of what it is to be a Greenleaf. I mean, we definitely heard her talk about this, in season 1 as well. So, definitely got my eye on you, Carissa. So we see that that's going on. And we definitely see that definitely takes on, a totally different shape, beyond that. Because Jacob eventually does find out that Carissa ran her mouth. But I'm going to talk about more about that. But next I'm going to talk about is Isaiah and Zora. Isaiah and Zora are, Isaiah's in the car driving. And, she's talking about the Cotillion and all that. And, he needs to hurry up and get in touch because Roberto got his. And he's just completely just dismissing her like, yeah, all right. Yeah, okay, whatever. Then he's like, then next thing you know, we see that he tells her, I got a surprise for you. Look in the glove compartment. She goes in the glove compartment. He got 2 tickets to Mug Dogs. And he's like, yeah, we should do it. We should have like a good fun date. We should go with each other. And she said, this date of this concert is on the same day as the Cotillion. I want to go to the Cotillion. He's like, well, I'm not going, so who you think you're going to go with? And she's like, I don't know, somebody. Tell me why this fool slammed on the brake and made her head hit the dashboard. I'm like, girl, if you do not wake up and see that this boy is on some crazy mess, you are in a world of trouble because she literally had a big bruise on her forehead. Like, he literally slammed on the brakes and literally made her hit her head. And she was like, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing? You trying to kill me or something? And he's like, you did it to yourself. And she's like, you know what? Take me home. He's like, I ain't taking you nowhere. She's like, Isaiah, take me home. And she's like, I'm going to the Cotillion. And he's like, fine, you can go to your little Cotillion. I'm like, oh, he is a mess. If it ain't what he want to do, you gonna get aggressive and get violent when you don't get your way? Oh, and I'm definitely gonna read Isaiah fulfilled because we definitely see that he's all image. But really at the heart of it, he is a straight up mean person. Like straight up. But you in church, he all happy and giggling and all happy and, because they actually have a scene where, they have him and this girl, they're doing a duet at Triumph, and you look at him and you would think he's the nicest guy in the world, but it's all a fugazi. It's not real. Because we see that he's really a monster behind it all. But got everybody thinking he's this great guy. Those are the ones you need to watch out for. Wolves in sheep's clothing. Then we get a scene with Charity and Jabari, and I'm just gonna go through that whole scene. Charity and Jabari, we remember from a few episodes, Charity just wrote this new song, and Jabari thinks it's a hit. They want to do it with this girl, Tequila, who's an established artist, but she wants to change so much of the song to how the way she wants to do it. And we really see that Charity is not liking her work being butchered or changed in any way, but that's kind of like the mode of songwriting. They can mold it and make it into their own, but she still gets the songwriting credit because it's her masterpiece and it's her blueprint. But and she's seeing how Jacob is really catering to Jakayla, it's making Charity feel some kind of way. Because I'm like, girl, you are so stuck on Jabari. You want him up in you so bad, you don't know what to do with yourself. So we see they kind of get into it, Charity and Jabari, because she's like, what is going on? Like, she is butchering my song, and you're just allowing her to do it. He's like, look, she's the customer. The customer's always right. You know, at the end of the day, it's still your song. You're still going to get credit for it, but we got to mold it and make it to what she wants. I mean, that's the art of the business. That's the art of songwriting. You know, your songs may be altered, but at the end of the day, it's still yours. And then she's like, you know what? What's going on? You know, because I saw you hugging and kissing on her and everything. Like, what? Do you like me? I mean, do you really like me? He's like, look, I do like you, and yes, I like you, but look, let's deal with this business. Let's get this taken care of, and then we can talk about things later on. And she's like, well, you're the boss, and he's like, I know I am, but everything's cool, but we need to handle this business. So they handle the business and everything, and then, you know, they talk about, you know, that, you know, because she's a Grammy nominated artist, so she's the real deal. So her singing Charity's song could really be a big career move and a big career leap for Charity. So her and Jabari are talking, and he was like, and she was like, look, I'm sorry that I was kind of forward with you and everything, but he's like, no, you know, I do want to talk to you about that. And he says that, look, you got a baby, and she's like, oh, so that's an issue for you? He's like, no, it's not an issue for me, but you've been through a lot, and I'm not trying to subject myself into your life like that. You know, I'm trying to go at a slow pace. But he's like, I like you though. And she's like, I like you too. He's like, no, I really, really like you. And then he starts tonguing her down. I'm like, oh, all right now. So now Charity and Jabari done definitely, they canoodling. We're going to see what's going to come out of that situation. Oh yeah, and we definitely get, because she definitely felt some kind of way, because earlier she was saying that, you know, because I think she's down in Nashville with him now, and she had just arrived, and she was saying that, you know, I don't have to get a hotel, you know, if you got some space, I can just stay in the guest room. And he's like, oh no, you know, the hotel is best. So she at first was thinking like, oh, he's still trying to push me away, so that's what made her aggressive, because she wants some Jabari, y'all. And after going through what she went through with Kevin and the divorce and all of that, and now that Kevin and left, oh, she ready to exercise her demons. So that's what's going on there with her. So we got Charity out the way. Now, pretty much we see that Lady May, along with Gigi, they go to this old folks home, and they talk to, you know, she pretty much developed bags and stuff for the ladies, and the ladies and her were talking, and she was saying that we really like this new management person that's here, because she really cares for us, because the woman they had before us, she was mean and she was rough. You know, people think when you come here that you're no longer important, but we're still human, and we still are God's children, and we should be respected and not treated any old kind of way. But she says, I spoke up and got her up out of here. I wonder, who is that person? Is it somebody we know? As a matter of fact, could it be Miss Jezebel Cross? Is that who it is? Time will show, maybe. Because it made me think the way they was talking about this girl, and that she was mean and she was rough and she was all of these things. Because we still don't know everything about Miss Cross, because Miss Cross is moving in like a you know, like a cat with 9 lives. You don't know what angle she's coming at. So it makes me think: was the elderly woman? Was she talking about? Was she talking about? Miss Cross being the former head of that old folks home, and that she treated people rudely. I'm like, that may be interesting, but then again, I could be completely wrong. But we see that Lady Mae and Grace are bonding, and they are extending their ministry to the old folks home. And that's very important because, people who are in those kind of homes, a lot of times don't get visits from their families and they're alone. And the fact that the church is there to not only give them comfort, but to also give them ministry, it's very refreshing. Oh, then we get a scene where, going back to the original story, now that the bishop got all this ammunition, and you saw how last week he's flexing about how he told Bishop Skanks off. So he goes to the church, lets him know that, look, I know all about your stuff, Bishop. I know about you using the alias Pastor Reeves. I know that you're in a lot of debt, and I see that you stole the church's money. I'm here to help you out. And he's like, oh, really? Like, how you think you're going to do that, Bishop Greenleaf? How you going to help me? And he said, first of all, you need to resign. And what you need to do is appoint Jacob as your replacement. So therefore, either way, you don't go to jail, and you can just step off and let Jacob take the fold. And he's like, man, I haven't seen such pathetic blackmail in all my life. You trying to show up in here like you this golden peacock or something, shooting off your idle threats. You know what? Get up out of my church, you old specter. Get out! I was like, oh, check you out being slick with the words. Still, when yet your whole entire foundation is crumbling, you still gonna be, I'm still Bishop Skanks, and I'm just gonna lay you down. Next thing you know, we see him on the phone talking, and we see that the big dude from last episode comes in, and he's like, oh, Victor, I've been waiting for you. We got business. Next thing we see, Victor beat the living life out of Bishop Skanks. Bishop Skanks was through. He beat the snot out of Bishop Skanks. To the point that all Tasha could do was cry. Because she's like, man, you are really putting yourself in danger, and you need to do whatever because they're going to kill you. I mean, it's like his slick talking game done caught up with him, and it's just a mess. So we pretty much see that Tasha ends up going to Bishop Greenleaf and Lady Mae and saying that, look, they really beat him up really bad. I'm really afraid for him. And Bishop's like, look, we got you. But really, we see that Bishop Skanks really wants to get, he really wants the bishop to get arrested. He's ready to take Skanks down for good. So pretty much Bishop Skanks goes back to the church with Tasha, and Bishop Skanks is letting him know what the deal is. And at first he's like, man, I don't care what you got to say. I don't even know why you here. And you don't care about me. You don't care about this church. You just trying to take me down and all of this. And he's like, look, there's evidence proving that you have been, changing the church's books and that you've been stealing money from the church. Either way, you're going to jail. So what you need to do, you need to step down. You need to make Jacob the new pastor of this church, and you just need to fade away. So, and then Tasha is crying with him like, please, do what he says. Just do what he says. You can't win right now. You don't have no more plan. Dude just came up in your office and beat you like you was a dude at a pool hall, didn't have no respect for you being a pastor or a bishop or nothing, just came in there and just bum rushed his behind. So we see that later on, Jacob gets word of it, and he is mad at Carissa. He says, I told you not to say nothing, and yet you said something. Why? And like, Carissa's like, you gonna thank me one day. Trust me. I'm like, see, Carissa wants that lifestyle. She wants to be Lady May. That is pretty much her goal. She wants to be First Lady. She wants that title. And she wants it bad. And that's the reason why she's adamant about Jacob getting the job. She wants that lifestyle, and she's tired of playing, she's tired of playing house in that rigged up house that they're living in where the electricity goes off. But little do you know, here it is, you chasing your dream, but your daughter is being beat down by the church's entertainment. Little Ike Turner. Yeah, crazy. And we actually see later on, when Jacob and Carissa are talking, we see Zora comes in there. She sees the bruise on her head, and she covers it up with makeup. And I'm like, here she go. Standard abuse victim. They hide it with makeup and try to paint that everything is pretty, when yet everything under it is black and blue. So yeah, we definitely gonna see a lot more with Zora, but at the end of the day, Zora made this bed, and now Zora is gonna have to overcome it. Sophia's been trying to tell you about him, but you think that she wanted a bad boy, now she got one. Be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. All right. Alright, so then we actually see that Grace actually has a conversation with what's his face? Darius. Darius, she calls Darius on the phone, and she actually decides to talk to him. She calls Darius over, they talk, and she actually opens up, because we actually see that Grace actually walked the path that she saw in her dream, and she saw this little area. It was like a little hiding place. And it was a place during the Civil War when they were trying to hide, because they live on a plantation, and during the Civil War they built this as like a protector for all of the black soldiers who were fighting for war, against the Confederacy and against slavery, But she actually opens up to Darius something she hasn't told anybody, which even adds more why she was so against Mac. Because months before he molested Faith, he tried it with Grace. Grace fought him off and ran away, and she never said anything. And she says, here it is, I'm telling these girls to open up and talk about what happened to them, but I didn't say anything. I kept silent. Faith will probably be alive if I would have said something first, but I didn't. I kept it hidden to myself, and I was like, wow. So this makes more and more sense why she was adamant. I mean, we definitely know why, because the fact of what happened to her sister, the fact that she has a daughter, and the fact that there are other little girls that she found out were affected by Uncle Mac and his pedophilia, sickness. I mean, it was crazy, because it was a long list of girls. But she never said that she was ever molested, but we come to find out that he attempted, but she got away, and that has been living on her mind. And once she got out, she pretty much told Darius, I never told anybody this. You're the first person I told this to. You told me your secret about you and your wife. I felt it was time for me to open up and tell you something that I've never told anyone. So they embrace and everything, and we see that Grace is now walking and she's jogging in the same area, and now she's smiling because she feels like a burden has been lifted. Then we actually get, Sunday at Calvary. But before that, we see that Bishop Skanks and Jacob talk, and he tells Jacob that, because Jacob was like, I don't want triumph, Basie. I don't want it. He's like, no, this is bigger than me, and this is bigger than you. This is about God's people. I violated them, and they need someone like you to lead them. So they had that conversation. On Sunday, we see little Ike Turner performing a duet with this girl, playing all happy, all good, like, looks great, but it's definitely a monster beneath it. And we definitely see that, wolves in sheep's clothing, as I said before. So we see these performing. We see that that Pastor Greenleaf, Lady Mae, Zora, everybody's there because this is the day that Bishop Skanks is going to turn over the church to Jacob, which he does. But Bishop Greenleaf had it set up where, he was going to have the authorities arrest Basie Skanks after he turned over the church to Jacob. But soon after he gave up the church to Jacob, he went AWOL. And Tasha was in his office crying that he's gone, he left. And she's like, do you know where he is? Like, no. She's like, he wanted me to go with him, but I don't know where he went. So, while all that's going on, check this. He gets a call from Lionel, and he's like, what's Lionel calling me for? Lionel's like, he goes to the phone, he's like, hey Lionel, how you doing? He's like, I'm not doing too good. I'm on my way there because I need to talk to you in person. And I'm like, and all of a sudden you saw Lady Mae get shook. I was like, ooh, man, this fool is about to spread, he's about to bring some mess up in the Greenleaf Mansion, y'all. He is about to turn things up. Because we definitely know that him and Lady Mae had a relationship back in the day, and they pretty much were secret lovers. But now he's like, I'm going to come and I'm going to tell you something in person. So Lady Mae is completely shook. And I definitely have an inkling it's because of Aaron, and that Aaron didn't go back to, I think they're from Louisiana. He didn't go back to Louisiana. I think he found Kevin, and him and Kevin, he's pretty much, meeting with Kevin on the sneak. And I think Bishop Lionel is against Aaron for being a gay man. So we're definitely gonna have some fireworks happening next week. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Greenleaf. It's getting good, y'all. So until then, everybody, take care.